think at the Welsh Society, and I suppose the club as a whole, we're really proud to be the first sort of top flight fan owned club. It's a big achievement. I think fan ownership is something that a lot of people are starting to consider as being a really positive thing in football, but at times it just takes that first step. And I think as well, despite there being a number of other clubs, lower league Scottish clubs who have been fan owned, I think to be that first top flight club to go ahead and do it, I think is a massive step. It all kind of started in 2011 with the whole sort of the seed sort of sown when Leanne Dempster was chief executive for the club. It kind of just built from there. I think to begin with there was a lot of sort of, I wouldn't say opposition, but there was a lot of questions, and still is I suppose, but there was a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, and it kind of just went from there. There's been difficulties along the way, both in terms of reaching targets. Les Hutchison's obviously had to step in at some point, but by and large I think we've got there in the end, and it's now flourishing, as you can kind of see at the moment.
A year into fan ownership, it's been a really positive start for us on and off the field. There's a lot of improvements being made and currently being made around the club and the stadium, and there's also been on the field. There's been a relatively good season, so there's a real kind of feel good factor in the first year. And as I said, a lot of people did question fan ownership, but in truth it's started very positively for the club, and we hope that it's all the right people in play. It's all the people who have got the best interests of the club at heart, so there's no reason why it can't continue with the support of the members and the people working around behind the scenes.
In terms of the sustainability of fan ownership, I think the proof's in the pudding. As this season has shown, there was a lot of debate, particularly the years leading up to fan ownership coming into play. A lot of debate between Motherwell fans: will it be sustainable, will it not be, what will it mean for the finances of the club? But it was one of those things that I think to a certain degree there was a leap of faith involved. We took that, and I think that just day to day you can see just how much it's flourishing, not just in terms of on the park with the success we've had this season, in terms of cup runs, etc., but I think just off the park, the feel good factor. The community trust is doing great work. The youth academy is obviously going to undergo some real positive steps under Stevie Hamill and Davy Clarkson. I just think the club as a whole is such a really good feel good factor at the moment, and I think that's largely down to fan ownership.
I think a lot of people believe that under fan ownership that things would change drastically about the way the club runs, which is definitely not the case. That romantic idea of fans sort of even picking the team is definitely not the case. It is run properly as a football club, but with fans having a little bit more of a say in the way it's run, a little bit more accountability for everybody at the club working, and you're safe in the knowledge that everybody on the board is a fan, is a Welsh Society member, and is accountable to their members. So any fan can get involved. They can put themselves forward for board positions. They can have their say. They can set an agenda for our board meetings, put forward ideas and suggestions. So it's a heightened level of fans having a say in the way the club's run, but also being able to run the club properly as it should be. A year in, I think the major success has been on the field. We've enjoyed a positive start to this season, reaching the Betfred Cup final and then another Scottish Cup semi-final. And on the field, a bit of stability, brought in a new management team, a big investment in the squad on the pitch, and a lot of improvements around the stadium that are going on just now. A new scoreboard going on next season, improvements to the hospitality sections and around the ground. This wouldn't have been possible without the pledges of members and people supporting.
In terms of successes with the Welsh Society, I think first and foremost the biggest success by a mile is the fact that this is a community-owned club now. It's something that there was a lot of doubters, shall we say, in our support, and I suppose elsewhere in Scottish football, but that was a big success. But there's been a lot of successes along the way, as you can see week in, week out. A good football side on the park, bringing through good young players is a mark of success for how the club's now run. And then little things, the successes that we've had in terms of events, in terms of increasing the membership, and I suppose even just the amount of money that was raised last year. With regards to Les Hutchison's Double Your Money initiative, I think to raise just under £200,000 from the Welsh Society for a club like Motherwell, I think was a fantastic achievement. Earlier
in the year we took our initiative to welcome the refugees in the area to Fir Park and make them feel part of the community. They were all invited along to a game and very much made to feel part of it. Other areas we've got involved with the community trust is areas like the walking football, for people over the years of 50 to be involved and be part of things and represent Motherwell at that level. So there's loads going on with the community trust, and we like to work kind of hand in hand with them, make sure we are, as I said, reaching out to the community and being involved in that side of things. The Welsh side committed, the original agreement is for the Welsh side to commit £120,000 at least per year to the team to invest on and off the pitch. So that's all, but we're always striving to get as many members as we can, put as much into the club, and we push home the message that the more we invest in the club, the stronger it will become, and it will all go into making improvements on and off the field.
In terms of the Welsh Society going forward, it's a bit more of the same. I think one of the exciting things about fan ownership and about the Welsh Society is the possibilities are essentially endless. It's not a case of, right, well, fan ownership now exists, so we'll just keep things ticking along. Somebody can come along with an idea tomorrow, and within months it's in place within the club, and I think that's one of the exciting aspects. In terms of principles with the Welsh Society and the club, I think first and foremost it is about that community spirit. Motherwell, I'm sure there's plenty of clubs throughout the world that will claim to be unique and claim to have a really gripping story, but I think the history of the club, the history of the town with the steelworks and things like that, I think it's about that identity and that community spirit, about coming together under the banner of something and working together, not just for the benefit of 11 players on a Saturday, but the benefit of the community. The club has shown in the past, even before fan ownership, with things like the youth academy, with the community trust, that it is heavily involved in the community and it does a lot of good work. And I think that along with the Welsh Society now, it's about really taking that forward. Members
are balanced on some of the key decisions. We make sure it's very much the club can still run sufficiently as a club. The board are appointed to make most of the decisions, so your board are representatives of the Welsh Society, so they're accountable to make those decisions. So we can't go a lot of decisions and go, this should go to a vote. It's very much done by the board, but when we can, we consult the members, whether it's through polls or whether it's through emails out to members, surveys, just making sure they're all balloted on decisions, and where possible giving a vote on decisions that are made. I believe fan ownership is the way forward for Scottish football. I believe there's not a whole host of investors wanting to put money into clubs. It is really about clubs being self-sufficient and doing things the proper way, the fans at the heart of everything they're doing. So I believe it's the only way forward for the majority of clubs in Scottish football, that the fans take control. It safeguards the future to make sure that it never falls into the wrong hands, and it gives everybody a sense of togetherness around the club.
Supporters nowadays, with the likes of podcasts and social media, SLOs, supporters want to be more involved in their football clubs, and I think fan ownership gives a perfect opportunity to do that. So I expect to see it far across Scotland and in the top flight. As the first top flight club to do so, I think we've set a precedent, and I think people will actually start to see just the success we're having here and will want to follow suit.
I believe it's vital that fans are kept in the loop, everything going on at the club. They know who their board members are, they know what's going on, they're kept in the loop, and they know what decisions are being made, and they know that the club's moving in a positive direction. The communication between fans and the club is key, and knowing exactly who's running the club and that they have got a say is absolutely vital.
Own this club, and you're playing such a big part in the success that we're now having. To join the Welsh Society, it's as simple as visiting the welshsociety.co.uk. It just takes a couple of minutes. You can pick how much you want to pledge, and your membership can be complete, and you can be an owner of Motherwell Football Club within a matter of minutes.